Yes. Invocation, I'd like to ask Pastor Alden.
Father God, we come to you with grateful hearts, and Father, we're thankful, Lord God, for what you're doing and how you're doing it, Lord. We ask, Lord, for your guidance. We ask, Lord God, to let your joy, Father, just filter over many of the hearts that are broken tonight, Lord. We ask you, Father God, for peace, Father God, and good decisions, Father. Father, for you are our source. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you. Roll call.
Joe Hicks.
Here.
Charles McHenry.
Here.
Thomas Osborne. Present. Darrell Proctor.
Here.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
Chairman, you have 5 present and 0 absent.
5 present, 0 absent, constitutes a quorum. All business conducted will be official. Next, we'll have the approval of minutes. Motion to approve the minutes by Representative Proctor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Representative McHenry. Roll call.
Thomas Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. The approval of minutes is approved. I'd like to welcome everyone tonight. Good to see everyone. We'll get into our order of business. Church ceremonial applications. Covenant Harvest Ministries. Lady and come forward, please.
There's a lot of number of things that we're trying to get accomplished, but our basic is probably 3 points that we're trying to get done. We're trying to make our church safer and handicap equipped, and we're trying to do maintenance on our roof. We're trying to get a building that we can use for storage, and we can increase our children's ministry in that area. So we want to try and do that's why we're trying to get a building that's going to be already prefab building. It's going to be dropped off. Also, we're trying to upgrade our area. There's a lot of potential right there in our area. We're kind of an urban church, but we're close to a swimming pool, and there's a lot of rental properties around our area. So we're trying to keep it secure also. That's why we're doing our fence. And we're trying to keep, we haven't so far, we haven't had any real problems, but there's been some potential things that have come around, so we're trying to secure the building. And we use our dining room a lot for smaller funerals. Folks that have funerals, and they come and they use the dining room afterwards. So we're trying to get that all safe and do some cement work and that kind of stuff. Basically, that's what we got. And we've got some stuff from McCoy's that we want to try to do with our members that want to try to do some painting inside and that kind of thing, and upgrading the fan in there and some different things. So, any questions?
Any questions from the committee? Motion to approve by Representative Proctor. Have a second? Second by Representative Hicks. Roll call vote, please.
Harold Proctor, or Thomasine Hall Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. Is everything correct on your contact information, your application? Like your phone numbers?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Very appreciated.
Next, we have the camp house and fellowship grant applications, beach ground, ceremonial ground, and Butler. Hello, folks. Tell us a little bit, just what you plan on doing.
Well, I have a camp that we had, I think, took $2,000 for what little we got. It was just a quick thing that we put together, and it's on the ground about a foot deep on a pole bar, and it's kind of leaning, and got a lot of kids, grandkids come around here, you know, of course, I don't want that to happen, you know, to dig out of the ground, because we got the soft ground when it gets wet. The road was built, without an eave, and so therefore the water falls straight from the roof to the ground, it just goes all the way to the camp. And I stayed under there one night when it was raining, and watched the water rise above my high-top shoes, and watched shoes floating out of the camp. But, and I just wanted to make it improve to where it'd be around for a lot longer, you know, that the other grandkids will be coming up, they have a place to go, as long as our ground is going.
Any questions from the committee? Do I have any questions? Entertain a motion. Motion by Representative Proctor. Would you pass?
Motion to approve beach ground.
Second by Representative Osborne.
Okay, motion.
The motion is to approve beach ground ceremonial ground for $7,000. Roll call vote, please.
Thomasine Hall Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes.
Thanks, sir.
Next, for our order of business, I'd like to pass the chair to our co-chair, Thomasine Hall Osborne.
Next item on the agenda is PR 20-006, the tribal resolution of the Muscogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a programmatic agreement among the Tennessee Valley Authority, the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation, and the state historic preservation officers of Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia, and federally recognizing the tribes regarding undertakings subject to Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, sponsored by Randall.
Motion to pass.
5 second. Motion was made by Bill Cocker. And then second by Darrell Proctor.
Ms. Butler?
Thank you, Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Committee. This legislation is for a programmatic agreement, and as you can see, it's between 7 states, and they've invited over 20 tribes. Tennessee Valley Authority is a federal agency, and they are mainly a power company. They have utility lines, power plants, nuclear energy, anything the power company would have, and they have service areas in 7 states. They are asking, and we've been working on this agreement with them for about 3 years to iron out the details, to make sure that when they're installing new power lines or they're doing any kind of ground disturbance, that they're not going to disrupt any kind of cultural sites that are important to the Creek Nation. This agreement outlines activities that they consider to be routine maintenance that has a low likelihood of impacting cultural sites. So if they're just repaving something or putting something in kind replacement, that those activities don't have to go through consultation. And so we've reviewed these activities and agree that this is an agreement that we're ready to sign with the Tennessee Valley Authority, and that if things do get found, there's a process in here that stipulates that tribes will be contacted and also have rights to come out and do tribal monitoring on projects that are in cultural areas or sensitive to tribes.
Any questions?
What's the term of agreement on this?
I believe it's 10 years.
10 years, okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Representative Deere, Representative Marshall. Representative Love, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randall,
Yes.
Darrell Foster,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles Montgomery.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
That motion's approved. Next item on the agenda is TR 20-007, the tribal resolution of the Muscogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a memorandum of agreement with the United States of America, Tennessee Valley Authority, and federally recognized Native American tribes for reburial of cultural items, including those repatriated under the Native American Graves Protection and Recreation Act. Sponsored Mark Randolph.
Motion to pass.
Have a second?
I'll say.
Motion was made by Representative Randolph, second by Representative Hicks. Discussion?
This is a memorandum of agreement with Tennessee Valley Authority, the same federal agency as before. Tennessee Valley Authority, back in the 40s and 50s, when they started to dam up the rivers, the Tennessee River, they uncovered thousands of human remains from Native Americans that used to live there. They have about 10,000 Native American human remains in their collection, and they've been working to try to get these back to tribes. And this agreement is designating a keep-safe cemetery that's going to be on TVA lands that will allow tribes to rebury their ancestors on this land. So this cemetery is actually going to be located in northern Alabama on TVA land. And this is, the TVA said all tribes have to sign an MOA understanding what rights each tribe has to actually be able to do reburials within this property. So this MOA just outlines the development and process for how reinterments will go for TVA collections.
Any questions from the committee? No? Representative Beard? Representative Marshall, any questions? Representative Love? Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randall,
Yes.
Darrell Foster,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
That motion passes. Want to make this chair back to Chairman Randolph.
Thank you, Representative Osborne. Next on our order of business is TR 20-008, Tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a memorandum of agreement with Okfuskee County, Oklahoma for improvements to Greenleaf Church Road, sponsored Thomas Senior Osborne.
Chairman, recommendation to pass.
Motion for due pass, is there a second? Second. Second by Representative McHenry. Discussion?
We have 7 in a row here, so. This project here, Greenleaf Church Road project, is on the west side of Okima, and it goes to the Greenleaf Church there. It goes from the state highway up just past the church, and it includes reconstruction of the roadway there and a bridge that's low graded there. The design and environmental assessment have been approved and ready to go. We just need to get the right of way, and then we can move forward toward construction. This is for an MOA for the county to acquire the right of way, and then the nation will construct the road, and then it would be turned over to the county to maintain. And it would be funded through the tribal, federally funded through the tribal transportation program.
Any questions? Questions? Questions?
Actually, these are the same agreements that are in the legislation.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
No questions, roll call vote, please.
Thompson Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Parker,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That passes. I'd like to pass the chair back to Vice Chairman Osborne.
Next item on the agenda is PR 20-009, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a memorandum of agreement with Oklahoma County, Oklahoma for the Ash Road Bridge project, sponsored Ron Randolph.
Motion to pass.
And a second.
Second.
Motion was made by Chairman Randolph, second by Representative Parker. Discussion.
This project, the Ash Road Bridge project, is just on the south side of Okmulgee. The design and environmental was funded through a grant that we got from the BIA Special Bridge Funds, and we're ready to go for the right-of-way now. And this is an MOA with the county to acquire the right-of-way. And once the right-of-way is acquired, then we will submit an application for special bridge funding to fund the project through the federal tribal transportation program, but it's special funding. And as it says in here, if you do not receive that funding, then the nation has no obligation to build the bridge. It'll be up to them if they want to use other funding, but we've had pretty good luck getting the special bridge funding, so we will submit it after the right-of-way is acquired.
Any questions from the committee?
How much have you received for the bridges?
Let's see, we've turned in applications just for design and environmental, and we've turned in 7 applications and received funding on all of them at $150,000 a piece. This would be the first one we turned in for actual construction funding, and they will allow up to $1 million per project for construction. So this would be our first. So we've had pretty good luck with the program.
Thank you.
Any questions from the committee?
Estimated time on say, bridge being complete from start?
To get the right-of-way acquired would probably take 2 months, 2 to 3 months. Once you turn in your application for the bridge funding, it's on a first-come, first-served basis. The program is $14 million a year, and it's a nationwide program.
Wow.
You may get funding in 6 months, you may get funding in 2 years. Once we got funding, and bid the project out, probably 4 months for completion of the actual project, so.
Any other questions from committee? Representative Beer? Representative Marshall? Representative Lowe, any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Darrell Hunter.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
That motion passes. I will move the chair back to the chair.
TR 20-010, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a memorandum of agreement with Creek County, Oklahoma for the Bridge 00388 project. Sponsor is Joseph Hicks.
Motion to pass.
Motion to pass by Representative second. Second by Representative Osborne. Discussion?
This project is one that we received special bridge funding for the design and environmental. That's been completed now. We're ready to go for the right-of-way and move forward with the bridge project. This is the bridge that's right on the west side of Briscoe, and this bridge was actually closed about 3 weeks ago. They had their latest inspection on the bridge, found some items, and they had ODOT close the bridge. So we would like to move forward with funding this through the Federal Tribal Transportation Program, and instead of going after the special bridge funds, it's funded through the transportation program. So this MOA is to go with the county to acquire the right-of-way, and then the nation would build the bridge and then turn it back over to the county for maintenance.
Questions?
You have several projects going on with all of these roads and bridges and everything.
Yes.
Are we using different contractors along the way? Because we have so many that,
Right now, we have 4 construction projects going on with 4 different contractors.
okay.
Right. Generally, we spread it out the best we can. It's, this last year, with the CISO law that was passed by the council, we've put that into all our contracts now. So it's a point system. So you may have one contractor, there's one contractor, it's an Indian-owned company that does really good work, but they may get more projects based on this law. But right now, like I say, we have 4 different contractors working.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Talking about using funding from our tribal transportation program, is that certain funding years that you use, or is there like one?
Right now, through the funding formula, the nation receives almost $10 million a year from the VIA for the transportation program. And my understanding is right now you have approximately $30 million in the bank for transportation projects that's been saved up over the years, so a lot of money there to move forward with.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions, ladies? Roll call vote, please.
Thompson Hilla Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Hunter.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. TR 20-011, tribal resolution of Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a separate memorandum of understanding with 3 Oklahoma cities for the maintenance of roadways and associated right-of-ways constructed or improved by the Muskogee Creek Nation Tribal Transportation Program. Sponsor is Thomas C. Osborne.
Chairman, make a motion to pass.
Motion to pass, we have a second. Second by Representative Hicks. Representative McHenry. Discussion?
Each year, the nation submits roads to the BIA to add to the inventory, the BIA inventory, because you can only spend federal funds on the roads that are official on the inventory. So once a year, we submit these. For every road that's submitted, we have to have an MOU with whoever owns the road and maintains it. And we will be submitting these roads in March. So these are the MOUs that go along, these next 4 years, MOUs that go along with these roads. And basically, the MOU establishes that each one of these people own this road and maintain this road in the right of way. And that you are just doing an MOU to put it on the inventory, and maybe at a later date, you might do something to the road. Just to establish the ownership of the road and the maintenance responsibilities for the road as part of the inventory process.
And these roads, they outlined in this map here?
Not on here.
Okay.
Any questions? Discussion?
I noticed on the MOUs that all in the state, this one sentence, and I was going to read it. Whereas the tribe identifies each section of roadway as an integral part of the road system serving tribal members. And what exactly does that mean? It's just not people using these roads.
The majority of them are county roads. There's a couple in the city, one ODOT, and a couple of schools. I mean, everyone uses these roads. It's a standard thing that goes into the MOUs that the BIA suggested we put in there.
Okay. And just looking at the Shakota, the cities that we're talking about is Shakota, and that's just like, is that like half a mile, because it says 0.5?
Right.
Okay. And then also the city of Kiefer, which is 1 mile and 2, what?
1.2 miles. Yes.
Okay. And also Okmulgee, which has 4 streets.
Right.
And is that like a block, because you've got Creek Street, UG Street, North Creek Place, and Smith Road isn't, I don't believe.
No, it isn't.
But
some of them are very similar, very close together, and others that not. And these roads have been identified either by the cities that come to us or one of the council members has come to us and said, this is one we're going to add to the inventory.
One of our, Tom and I have talked about this, one of our long-term plans is to eventually put every road within the jurisdiction on the inventory, so that way, that when there is a project that needs to come up, we already have, it doesn't mean we have to expend the funds on that road, it just means that it will reduce the time, so when there is a project that needs to be done on the road, we already have all of the background work already completed. So
it takes about a year to get a road put on inventory. So if you came to us and said, we want to do a project on this road, you're a year away. Plus, right now, the funding formula for the travel transportation funding is based on roads that were from 2012, all the roads in there now. There's a new highway bill coming out this year. There's rumors that that formula may change, and it may change to account all the roads on inventory. It's always every 4 years a new highway bill, and the formula changes. So the more roads you have, the better it is for funding formula purposes. And you have people already in the travel transportation program. It's their job to inventory roads and get them submitted. So we thought just for the future, it might be good just to start that process and get it going. And I mean, it might be a 10-year project, but it could be a good project.
That leads me to my next question. With all the roads that we've improved, are we behind, or are we moving pretty steady, or?
There's a long list.
Okay.
One thing we'll talk about in a minute, I gave you some maps here to show all the roads that have been constructed, the ones that are under construction, and then all the design projects that are currently going on for future construction, to give you an idea of how they're spread out. This year, we had planned, the last couple of years, we've only done 2 or 3 construction projects and kind of got behind. Right now, we have 4 going on. This year, we're planning on, I think, 6 or 7 construction projects, get them going, get things moving.
Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Thomas Osborne,
Yes.
Gerald Foster,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. TR 20-012, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Oklahoma Department of Transportation for the improvement and maintenance of a roadway within Wagner County, Oklahoma by the Muskogee Creek Nation Tribal Transportation Program. Sponsor is Charles McHenry.
Make a motion for due pass.
Motion to pass by Charles McHenry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Representative Osborne. Discussion.
This is the same thing, it's just an MOU to put this roadway on the county board. It's a state highway going through the border.
Any questions, concerns? Roll call vote, please.
Thomas Osborne. Yes. Gerald Foster.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. TR 20-013, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a separate memorandum of understanding with 2 public schools for the improvement of roadways and associated rights of way by the Muskogee Creek Nation Tribal Transportation Program. Sponsors Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Chairman, make a motion to pass.
Motion to pass by Representative Osborne. Do we have a second? Second by Representative Hicks. Discussion.
And this is another, just an MOU with these 2 school districts that, for Bearden and Schulter, to help them with their parking lots and entrance roads into the complex. And it's been kind of a tradition to help out the small schools around through the program.
Questions, concerns?
On the one for Shelter, I was looking at the map. Is that like a complete block around the school?
I don't think so. I think it's mainly the parking lot, what they're concerned about. We put everything that, if the actual project is done, then it's defined by the school. We work with the school to find the actual project and what they want to see done. And sometimes, it's just, some of these parking lots are just gravel. If they're on inventory, we can spend maintenance money on it and just put gravel on the parking lot and help them out temporarily.
More questions? Roll call vote, please.
Thomas Osborne. Yes. Gerald Foster,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. TR 20-014, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a separate memorandum of understanding with 8 Oklahoma counties for the maintenance of roadways and associated right-of-ways constructed or improvement by the Muskogee Creek Nation Tribal Transportation Program. Sponsor Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Chairman, make a motion to pass.
Motion to pass by Representative Osborne. Do we have a second? Second by Representative Proctor. Discussion.
This is the same thing, MOU with all the counties that have their county roads to them before.
Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Thomas
Sorry.
I noticed on this is going to be the nation's, funded by the Tribal Transportation Program.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and also, the ones in Creek County, there's actually 5 routes that are going to be, which I believe comes to right over 19 miles. Okay. And I'm just saying this because we have people listening now. So I want people to be aware where we're talking about. In Goose County, we have 3 routes, which is 8.4 miles. And in Mays County, we have 3 routes, which is 8.2 miles. McIntosh County, we have Honey Creek, which is almost a mile. Obusky County, we have 4 routes, which is 20.6 miles. In Okmulgee, we have 19 routes, which is a little over 48 miles. And then, I think that was it. And I believe Colton Road is one of those spaces that we live. That's what I want people to know, so I don't know that it's coming down. But that's all I have. I just want to make everybody aware where those locations are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More discussion?
If the council approves these on the 25th, how soon are you going to be able to get started on all of these projects?
We, March 15th is the deadline for submitting inventory to the BIA. It takes them about 8 months to approve inventory, so we're talking next year
Okay.
before they're approved. And then at that point, once they're official on the inventory, then federal funding can be spent on the road. And at that point, any of these projects, any of these roads could be open to projects for the future.
Thank you.
Do you have any prioritize which ones to do first?
No, sir, not yet. This is strictly for them before you put roads on the inventory. Each
After
year,
you're approved.
right, after they're approved official on the inventory, then you have approximately over 1,000 miles of road on your inventory now. So there's a lot of projects that can be done out there. We put a list together of the projects. You know, we get stuff from the commissioners suggesting projects that we look at. Council members and various people, you know, suggest projects, and then we start prioritizing them from there.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Roll call vote, please.
Cynthia Hall Osborne,
Yes.
Carol Proctor,
Yes.
Justin Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. TR 20-015, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a construction contract with the Shield Tribal Construction LNC on behalf of the Muskogee Creek Nation Department of Housing. Sponsor is LNC and Yehola Osborne.
Chairman, I make a motion to pass.
Motion to pass by Representative Osborne. We have a second. Second by Representative McHenry. Discussion.
This contract is for the rehabilitation of 64 low-rent units in Eufaula. The rehabilitation will consist of replacing roofs, siding, windows, and exterior doors. We received 2 bids on the project. Matt Hill was low bid, was responsive. All their things seem to be in order. They've done work with Creek Nation in the past and seem to be in good standing with Creek.
Questions?
How long will the contract be? Once, if it's approved by council on the 25th?
If it's approved, we have a deadline of June of 2021. We have not established a start and completion date. We will do that on signing of the contract, or awarding of the contract.
I noticed on the contract, liquidated damages, that if the contractor fails to complete the work within the time frame specified or any extension approved by the Muskogee Creek Nation Division of Housing, the contractor shall pay the housing as liquidated damages, sum of $300 per day.
Yes.
Do you guys hold the contractors to that?
Yes.
by the same token, if they finish early, do you award them anything, or they're just
No,
done and
they're,
did
yeah,
it?
they completed it ahead of schedule and goes on their record that they finished on time.
We get a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Thomas Hill Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Sport.
Thank you.
PR 20-016, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute all necessary documents to transfer a certain platted 17.5 acre, 86 lot real property residential community known as the Club East back to the Muskogee Creek Nation from the Muskogee Creek Nation Department of Housing. Sponsors Thomas Osborne.
Chairman, make a motion to pass.
Motion to pass by Representative Osborne. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Representative Hicks. Discussion.
This property was originally bought by the tribe in January 2012. I couldn't say exactly what it was going to be used for. I had little plans at the time, but they never happened. The property was developed prior to it being purchased by the tribe for a lot of new lots, as you can see, there are 36 lots. Because it was never used, and it was just sitting down there, this is located just south of the Oklahoma Country Club, the golf course. So in 2017, at that time, Secretary of Housing Sam Whitlow acted, and Chief Floyd about maybe transferring it to the housing to try to do some development with it instead of just letting it sit in place. We did go out there, we tried, we made some plans and had some ideas of how we were going to try to incorporate and start with the property right along the edge of the road. Once we got out, we started receiving complaints, council started receiving complaints from local people in that area. They didn't want low-income housing. So we've had it for 20 years and we just can't use it, we can't utilize it. It has been talked about maybe even trying to sell it. And I think there was an offer made last year, but never acted on it. So at this time, we just thought it may be best to go ahead and transfer it back to the tribe to decide what to do with it, because housing you just can't utilize it.
Questions?
Stacy, has infrastructure, has that, anything happened regarding that?
There are utilities out there. There's lines in the ground for electric, water. I'm not sure about gas, but probably sewer too. And it's based on those 86 lots that were platted at that time. So if anyone were to try to use it, they're going to have to either go in and do a lot of expense to make changes to that, or try to incorporate property, based on those lots the way they are, or replat it.
And replat it, why?
Well, the lots are small. They were, I think, at one time when it was purchased, for like townhouses, I mean, really close knit properties, and some other things right there in the middle of it. But so the infrastructure was laid based on someone planning it at that time and with plans to do whatever they were going to do. But for someone to come back in now, it's just going to take some money to change it.
Could they possibly, though, put maybe one house on 2 lots?
That's what we were going to do. Because they were so small, we were going to combine 2 and try to have it replatted. But again, once we got to talking about it, and did some serious discussions, it just kind of got shut down because of the complaints.
Let me ask the question of the chief. Chief, what are your thoughts on people complaining about housing in that area? Because based on my history, and Stacy knows this, is that when we have been out there to purchase property in any area, we've always received complaints that when cremation comes in, that some people have shut us down in the past because we wanted to build a house or whatever. So what are your thoughts on that out there?
We don't know right now, probably have to look into it. Kind of depends on the location of it.
Where exactly is it? Is it on the south?
It's at the very far end of the Okmulgee golf course. There's a nice house there and then just right past it is the entrance to it, which is kind of washed away right now.
On the south side.
When this first came about, I can remember about 4 years ago, I actually had a couple phone calls from citizens that lived in that area. And to be quite honest, they were upset that we were thinking about building homes there because they were concerned about the price of the value of their homes going down if we built something there, just to be quite honest about it. And so the conversation kind of went something like, well, you can't stop us, but at the same time, we have to be considerate of our neighbors too. So, but that was like 4 years ago. It was a very brief conversation, and really haven't heard anything from them since then. So that's kind of what I know of that area and some of the conversations that I've had from 2 citizens that live in that area.
Any other questions or?
To Chief. Chief, is that something we should wait on? Should we discuss it before we?
I think so. I think we should see what would be best, you know, for the nation in that area right there.
And it might be something that we could develop in a way that, I think if we got more information out to them of our plans, instead of just, you know, them wondering what we're doing. And that might have been some problem, they just didn't know and just expecting something they're seeing somewhere else, you know, but.
Because the original one we did was 2012.
Stacy is right. There is a lot of work that needs to be done out there. Some of the roads that were developed out there, they've washed away. It's really a bad erosion problem out there, really bad. Some of the pipes had been busted. So I think if you're going to do any type of development out there, it would be hard to put something in there with the original equipment that's there. I think it would be really difficult to do that because you just don't know what shape it's in. So I think it'd be really difficult to put something out there, what it's intended for. I think you'd really just have to start all over and dig up what's out there. Like I said, that was a while back, and I'm talking about when I was with environmental, we'd go out there just to check on it. And the roads were washed away. It was some of the pipes were busted. I think James, I think even me and you had went out there and checked on it. So.
Right. It's going to take a little bit to develop it. However, though, it is it's a great location, and I think once we get through with the mission project with 3 ponds, if we can come up with some design like that, I think that would go down there. I mean, that's a little more modern design, so I think that's what they're looking for.
This is only transferring from the housing back to cremation.
Right, it's still really young in cremation's
It's
name.
still in
It's
cremation.
just, I guess, who pays taxes and who don't. Who keeps it up. We mowed it some this summer, try to keep, especially down on the very far south end, we're getting notices from the city to keep it mowed next to those homes.
Still Creek Nation, we're just putting them back to Creek Nation from housing. So if we do develop, we just have to transfer it back.
Give that to them.
Anybody else? I know we had some heated discussions about it years ago. One of the things we were saying is if you don't want to live by an Indian person, don't move to Oklahoma. Anybody else?
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to postpone indefinitely.
Got a motion to postpone indefinitely. We have a second. second by Representative McHenry. Any discussion or? Roll call vote, please.
Thomasina Hella Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion is to postpone indefinitely. TR 20-018, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing, I'm sorry, thank you. TR 20-017, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a transfer agreement between the Muskogee Creek Nation and the Indian Health Service on behalf of the United States of America for Indian Health Service Project OK-10-S15. Sponsor is Darrell Proctor.
Chairman, motion for due pass.
Motion for due pass. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Representative Osborne. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I think I can address this. The transfer agreement basically is what occurs with IHS after a project has been completed. And this project was for the purpose of providing sanitary sewer facilities to homes in the Misty Valley, McIntosh County area, I believe. So the project's over with now, so in order to close out the project and turn over responsibility for the sewer lines and everything, we just enter into this agreement, a transfer agreement. It goes from IHS over to each individual landowner, and so this is just completes everything and finalizes it.
Thank you, Mr. Diligent. Questions? Any questions? No questions? Roll call vote, please.
Thomasina Hella Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks, Charles McHenry. Yes. Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passes. TR 20-018, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a programmatic agreement among the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Tulsa District, Tulsa County Drainage District Number 12, the Oklahoma State Historic Preservation. I'll go ahead and transfer it over to our co-chair. Forgive me.
The next item on the agenda is TR 20-018, tribal resolution of Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a programmatic agreement among the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Tulsa District, Tulsa County Drainage District Number 12, the Oklahoma State Historic Preservation Officer, the Oklahoma Archaeological Survey, and the Osage Nation regarding compliance with Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act for the Tulsa and West Tulsa levies feasibility study in Tulsa County, Oklahoma, sponsored Mark Reddock.
Motion to pass.
Second.
Chairman Reddock, move the motion. Representative Hicks, second. Discussion.
This programmatic agreement is with the Army Corps of Engineers Tulsa District. They are wanting to conduct a feasibility study on the levees in West Tulsa near Sand Springs. And the studies may cause damage or uncover cultural resources when they do the study. And so this programmatic agreement outlines if anything is found, how they're going to contact tribes, if there's an adverse effect or anything is impacted, that this is the procedures that will be followed. The Creek Nation is a signatory, and so is the Osage Nation on this agreement. And it's really, the feasibility study will help improve with the flooding that happened over the summer. They're worried that any more flooding like that could damage the levees, so they want to see how they can be improved. And they also have to comply with the NEPA, the National Environmental Protection Policy Act, so, which also includes cultural compliance with Section 106. So this agreement just outlines that basically that they're not able to do that compliance before the study, but they're going to do the study, and if things happen, then they're going to reach out and work with the tribes.
Any questions for the committee? Representative Marshall, any questions? Representative Blunt? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Darrell Parker.
Yes.
Joseph Dix.
Yes.
Charles McKenna.
Yes.
Chairman, we have 4 in favor and 0 against.
That motion is passed. The next item on the agenda is TR 20-019, the tribal resolution of Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a mutual agreement with the United States Department of Agricultural, USDA, for the implementation of a natural resources management and conservation programs for the United States Department of Agriculture to protect, improve, and maintain tribal natural resources. Sponsor Mark Randolph.
Motion to pass.
Second.
Second.
Chairman Randolph. The motion. Representative Hicks, second. Discussion?
This is just a renewal of the mutual understanding agreement between USDA, Muskogee Creek Nation, and Muskogee Creek Nation Conservation District. We're just coming together with a common objective to help people utilize and manage tribal resources and work together as partners to deliver the USDA programs.
Any questions from the committee? Representative Dean? Representative Lowe, any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Darrell Parker.
Yes.
Joseph Dix.
Yes.
Charles McKenna.
Yes.
Chairman, we have 4 in favor and 0 against.
That motion passes. I relinquish the chair back to the chairman.
Thank you. PR 20-024, tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Cherokee Nation on behalf of its environmental program for the purpose of providing a site for placement of ambient air quality monitoring equipment on Muskogee Creek Nation tribal trust or private land. Sponsor is Darrell Proctor.
Chairman, motion for due pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Proctor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Representative Osborne. Discussion.
We have a opportunity to use the Intertribal Council, which is located in Cherokee Nation. Their air program has a mobile air monitoring station, and we have this opportunity. We've been on the list to get it for a while, but I don't know if you've got a picture of it or not, but here's what it looks like. It's a tandem trailer air monitoring trailer, and it monitors like particulate matter, ozone. It monitors a series of different climatry, air temperature, speed, wind, different things, you know. We're trying to gather some data. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get the air program going, and if we can show them that we can collect all this data in a good, timely fashion and have some good, correct data, next year we're going to apply for an air grant. At the same time, we're working with Frank Hartshaw's office out of the GIS office with a grant where we're putting up some mesonet stations across the, we've got 2 stations that we're going to put up, one at Twin Hills, one at Cromwell, and this station here will go out by our CNG station. So we're going to get 3 points of data collection. We're trying to get the air program going and also a climate change analysis for the tribe. We're also looking at what the floods do to our tribal properties, what they do to our agriculture, what they do down at the ranch, and different varieties of things in the air, what the temperature does for growing seasons, how the seasons have changed now. Now it just seems like we just all run in together. We all run in together. I mean, sometimes it's just really, like just last weekend, just pouring down rain in January. I mean, who would have thought that? You know, so we can get a monsoon at any time, any month now. So we're trying to follow what we want to describe as some good critical data that we can use here at the tribe. So this is our start right here. So thank you.
Questions? Any questions? Questions, roll call vote, please.
Thomasini Helen Osborne.
Yes.
Gerald Proctor.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, that motion passes. Thank you, sir. Next on our order of business is other business. Have anything under other business? I have a request. I'd like to get a total of the amount spent to LNC for our grants and programs for fiscal years 2018 and 2019. And I'd also like to request job descriptions of the National Council of Employees for each member of this committee. And lastly, I would like to request that you provide the LNC committee members with a list of all Muskogee Creek traditional churches, ceremonial grounds, and contacts.
In regards to the churches, I have looked at the list, and I believe there are a couple that are not within our jurisdiction that probably need to come off that list.
Any other business? Announcements? I have an announcement. Today is Charles Son McHenry's birthday. Happy birthday. Benediction and adjournment. I'm going to ask Ms. Representative Anna Marshall to give our benediction, please. Then we'll be adjourned.
Let us pray. Creator God, we just come to you at this time, and we just ask that you be with each and every one of us as we go from this place, that you give us travel mercies and that you get us to where we need to go safely. And we just ask that you be with all of our Muskogee people who have lost loved ones, and there have been many over these past few weeks, that you just give them peace, comfort, and just give them understanding to know that you are present with them in their struggles as they go through their grieving and mourning time. And we just ask that you continue to be with the LNC committee, and that you will just continue to lead and guide them and give them the wisdom and knowledge that they need to lead this nation. And we just want to lift up the chief and the second chief, and that you will continue to lead and guide them as well as we go forward in this new year, that we will all do our best and that we'll work together, and that we will be in a cooperative spirit, and that we will learn to work together, respect each other, to love each other. And this is the nature of who we are as Creek Muskogee people. And we just ask that you continue to just lift us up each and every day, and that we always look to you for all of our needs, for all of the things that we need.